All right, we are live. I'm just going to go share this side Discord real quick. Let everyone trickle in. Dun, dun, dun. All right. 1 sec, guys.
Kyle, you play bass?
That's a guitar.
Oh.
That's enough.
All right, guys. We got 14 people on the call. Everyone, what's up? Happy Friday. Appreciate you guys being here. 7 p.m. East Coast, 4 p.m. West Coast. Pretty crazy that you guys are here on a Friday. So we're going to make it worth your time. We're going to be talking about initially just some land stuff, our own land businesses, land, life stuff. As you guys know, we don't do anything really by the book. So we're going to keep it fun. And then we're going to go through some of the product roadmap stuff that we're working on to the Land Insights. Frankly, some stuff that's going to blow your freaking mind. And yeah, we'll go through some Q&A. Feel free to put any questions in the chat. It can be really anything, right? Marketing, market selection, land insights, just land in general. And I'm happy to go through it with you guys. You guys got Rylan and Kyle on a call, which is kind of a rare trifecta to have all of us here at once. So Kyle, Rylan, what's up, boys? How you guys doing?
Doing good. Feels good to be back in the swing of things. I'm back in Florida.
Little context, right? Rylan, where have you been for the last 4 months?
Everywhere. I've been a hard guy to catch lately.
Yeah.
I'd say like probably 4.5 months or 5 months out of this year, I haven't been in Florida, just either back in California or abroad. I just got back from Sweden, and then before that, we were in Bali. Before that, we were in Greece, Portugal, and then I guess earlier this year was a bunch of moving around in the U.S. I went to Texas with Sumner to go visit John Jasniak at Cornuda's. That was a fun trip.
Yeah.
And then, just moving around a lot. But it's time to get back into the business and start cranking out some projects. So I'm super excited to get going.
Okay. In that time with all the trips, did your business grow or did it suffer?
Last month was the best month we've ever had.
Okay.
And I really wasn't spending too much time in the land business. It was mostly Land Insights.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy to see how your systems can work for you when you're traveling or just hanging out, you know? Like I'd say we didn't take any steps back. It was all forward. And since I started the business, it's always been forward. We never take any steps back.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. Like I'd say that last month I was like, wow, this is crazy. It's crazy what land has done in my life.
Yeah.
I couldn't even imagine the life I'm living now 2 years ago.
Well, dude, just for context, you did $250,000 just last week, right?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty fucking mental.
Yeah.
It's dope. Man.
And that was in just 3 deals, which was crazy.
Yeah. So nice. We'll talk more about that. Kyle, how about you, man? I know we obviously, for those that don't know, actually pretty much exactly a year ago, this is almost a 1 year anniversary. Rylan, you might know the exact date of when we launched Land Insights. Obviously, it's gone through many iterations and changes since then. We kind of officially partnered up December, January is when things started to kind of get molded between the three of us. At that time, Kyle had his first child as well. So I know your life's probably changed radically since we've gone on this 7-month journey. But fill us in. What's been going on for the last few months, Kyle?
Yeah, man. Yeah. So we had a baby in December. Her name was Noelle. And because she was supposed to be born on actually Christmas, but she decided to wait till the 26th. And now she just turned 6 months just a couple of days ago. So yeah, life's been crazy. Things definitely change. I know people tell you that. It's true. And so yeah, just running a full-time land business, Land Insights, and then the family. And that's pretty much my core 3.
Yeah. And for you guys that don't know, Kyle's pretty much the brains behind the operation, right? So there's been a huge kind of quantum leap in what we've created, and we're going to talk about some of the stuff that's in the pipeline today. And I would say all of it, we can kind of go back to the inflection point of Kyle joining Land Insights. We went from a terrible, crappy database with good data on a really crappy database on Tableau to something much more sophisticated. And so for you guys that don't know, this might be your first introduction to Kyle. This is why. And Kyle started as a Leah member and then just kind of slowly grew from there. In fact, I'll never forget the day that we were at the Leah Mastermind last October. I think you had shown Rylan something, and Rylan had told me, and word got around, and he was like, "Yeah, this is bananas. We need to figure out a way to work together." So here we are. Kyle, fill me in. What's the land business been like? Obviously, you're running the land insights engineering stuff pretty much full time. New family that's growing. What's going on in your own land business?
Yeah, I mean, basically sending mail and also doing texting. And yeah, we're pretty much doing flips and double closes, just like most people. The past kind of switched gears. I started adding people. So I left my job. If they wanted a W-2, left my job like pretty much like 4 months ago, and then I brought on a team. And it's just been kind of slowly just adding acquisition manager and journalist VA, texting VA, and just kind of pulling all the pieces together. And we've been stacking up dominoes, so just one after another. So it's just kind of that awkward phase where like we have all of these dominoes stacked up, and then now they're starting to fall. So we have 2 double closes happening closing this month, and then we have a flip that literally is going to close on the 19th. Looking at the clock here, it's kind of a crazy one. So we bought it in Tennessee. It's kind of a bowling alley lot, really thin. Might be like 5 acres. I was looking at the CRM, but we bought it for like 30, and I was like, things are trading in a normal property that would sell for probably like 200, but because it was such a thin lot, I underwrote it around 60 on just the list price, hoping that maybe I could get like 30 out of it or 25. But we called an agent, and he was like, "Okay, I'll list it." And then he ended up talking to the neighbor, and the neighbor offered 50. I negotiated to 60, and then it didn't even hit the market. It just literally just sold by the realtor just talking to the agent. So just like that. So of course, we're taking all of our markets through the same way everyone else is with Land Insights. So the power of days on market. So in this case, I guess you could say it was 0, which was pretty cool.
Yeah. So, Kyle, what would you say roughly the pipeline that you've amassed? What does your pipeline kind of projection look like for this year?
Well, right now it's probably at least $250,000, probably more. I have to go take a look. But yeah, I mean, at any one time, we probably have 10 warm leads we hope to turn hot at any one point. And yeah, we're getting like 40 to 50 leads a week that are kind of warm, but we disqualify a lot.
Yeah, that's sweet, man. And for those that don't know, you joined Leah beginning of 2023. Kind of had to put it on the back burner. You're juggling a lot, full-time job, all that stuff, and you run other businesses outside of this too. We don't have to go into them, but you've got a lot on your plate. And then really went all in some point in the middle of last year, but then simultaneously had a kid, went all in on Land Insights, and so you've kind of had, I feel like, a little false starts here and there. I feel like really ultimately your journey really started beginning of this year. At least that's how. Maybe it's because I know more and have more context around it. But
yeah,
it
that's about right.
Yeah, so that's when you went all in.
I did with some people what you shouldn't do, which is like, send mail and then not send mail, and then wait 2 months and then send mail and then not send mail. So I learned from that. Now I was getting deals. I sent out 500 letters to account in Colorado, and I got my first deal. And now I've done quite a few. I've kind of learned something that first deal was actually amazing, because there's like $500,000 of back taxes on this property, and basically what happened was the seller got that taken care of. I didn't have to do anything, and it ended up being like this false reported IRS back taxes, and then they did all the hard work, and then I pretty much just bought it and sold it. It sold within 30 days. So I got really lucky on my first deal. And then after that, it's just pretty much just, trying to send 5 to 10K mailers a month.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, for a little context, some of you guys may or may not know, I live in Bali now. We made the move about a week ago. We just kind of hit actually it's our 9-day anniversary of living here, which is awesome. It's been unreal. I could tell you more about it. We won't do it here. I actually just did a handshake agreement yesterday with a new videographer. So we're starting a separate channel beyond just lands, just life and general stuff that we're going to be documenting here in Bali. So I have a full-time videographer. The first thing that we're doing is hiking the biggest mountain in Bali. It's called Mount Agung. It's about a 12 to 15 hour hike. We'll be starting at 1 a.m. documenting all of it. It's going to be awesome. In the interim, I've added about $1 million to our pipeline in the last 30 days. So land business is chugging along. And I go through these iterations or these kind of like ebbs and flows where my time goes, it gets like over indexed in certain areas. So either it's Land Insights or it's Leah or it's a land business. I'd say it's the first time in a long time where my energy is evenly spaced among the three. And we've seen a pretty big uptick in our land business because of that. Honestly, in the last year and a half, I've been allocating 5 to maybe 10 hours a week at most to our land business. And there's a price you pay, right? The business has still chugged along and done its thing, but we haven't been in hyper growth mode because other things required more of my attention. And now we've kind of got this nice kind of even balance across the board. We're having days where we're hitting 30 leads. We've literally had to kind of taper back our marketing because our lead flow has just gone bananas. And my big focus this year in the land business has been ultimately resourcefulness, right? How do I get better at having a team that can make deals happen that are more complex, whether it's effed up titles, whether it's weird value add strategies, whether it's creating access, or maybe it's just we can extract more yield from the leads sitting in our CRM because we're better at sales or we have a better sales process. That's where a lot of my time has been going, sales training and deal making and understanding the different ways to make deals. I've always been pretty linear in my thinking in this business, buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell. And I've missed out on a lot of deals because of it. So that's where I'm at in the land business. Honestly, I think we can all attest to the fact if we looked at if we kind of plotted our land businesses and we looked at either time or revenue, there's been a huge jump since we've started using Land Insights, really beginning of April. I've noticed a difference in our yield from our marketing. Our team is saving about 3 hours a day with some of the Land Insights tools individually. So not collectively for the team, for individual contributors on our team. So the accumulated time savings has just been ginormous. Have you guys seen any appreciable upticks? Anything you guys want to speak to before we dive into some of the roadmap stuff?
I say it kind of goes back to everything we've been talking about. I mean, first of all, time savings. So I always want a gauge on the markets we're working in. So I'm still choosing those every two weeks. I choose our markets and I can knock it out in a day. And I'm pretty confident with the filters that we're working with, they're going to be good markets we're going after. And then as long as you're scrubbing, I mean, we're only targeting premium properties. So once that kind of clicked in my head, we were able to scale up quite a bit. I mean, our marketing budget's $25,000 a month right now. So we're pumping out like crazy. I don't think there's anybody that markets more than I do right now. With texting, I haven't heard anybody doing the numbers that I'm doing. Yeah. And I would say I owe a lot of that just to having a clear, simple process. I always say simplicity scales, and Land Insights is the simplicity.
Yeah, love it. Kyle, anything you can speak to?
Yeah, I haven't picked a market in months, probably at least a quarter, maybe longer. I just have a filter. And I just tell my marketing VA, texting VA, just go down the list, pull the data from, our data provider, and he prepares it and sends out the marketing. So I just like that. I can just kind of create a conveyor belt, and I don't have to be involved in that. And I know I have some controls around what she's picking. It's not just any market, right? These are solid markets. So I just did the filters.
Yeah, it's crazy. We've seen it in both. We've had users. We've kind of done like a meta study on our users and had them report before and after. What we've seen and what our users have seen is almost a doubling in ROAS, so a 91.67% increase in ROAS. So what they were at prior and after using Land Insights, and then a ginormous drop in days on market, which is really what we've seen. I mean, our ROAS was already pretty strong. we were already doing some of the scrubbing stuff and whatnot. If you're not doing any of that and you come into Land Insights, overnight your ROAS jumps. But the days on market is just bananas. Like I know a lot of land investors right now that 120 days is kind of the expectation. In fact, there was people at the mastermind that I was at that were like, dude, I've got like a month or two of runway left, and then I'm fucked if I don't get these properties sold. Heart goes out to anyone that's in that position. Not really something that we're running into on the Land Insights side. I mean, we see it inside the Land Insights Discord. People are like, 6 hours days on market, 6 days on market. That's pretty banana. So it's been a huge impact for us. I'm gonna go through the chat real quick. Tim Smith says, joining both Leah and Land Insights is like entering a cheat code on starting my land business. Straight up, man. Home office heroes, Land Insights saved my life, but Sumner stole my girl. Not sure I understand. A bunch of riffraff in here. Love it, guys. And one thing too, if you are watching this, you're like, what the heck are these guys talking about? Land Insights? What is that? I'm gonna put a little link down below, landinsights.co/apply. If you guys want to hop on, we'll give you a full demo of how this platform works, how we can 2x your ROAS, cut your days on market by 50% or more, and ultimately buy back an F ton of time. The average user is buying back about 32 hours a month just on their market selection. Doesn't even take in consideration scrubbing. Landinsights.co/apply. Totally free to hop on. Pete from the Land Insights team will give you a full kind of play-by-play on the platform. And see if it makes sense for you. You know, usually our rule of thumb is it really only makes sense if you're consistently marketing. So if you're brand new to Land, you're brand new to Leah, you're not sending out any marketing, please don't join. In fact, I won't let you join. This is not the right time. You need to go eat shit and do it manually to have context on how this stuff actually works and to really appreciate what the platform can do for you. So usually folks that are joining are doing at a bare minimum 3,000 to 4,000 mailers a month. And that's where you really start to see the huge uptick. If you're not marketing, no need to join. Don't even think about it. Come back later. We'll turn you away. All right, guys, let's jump into some of the cool stuff we got cooking up. There's so much we could go through, and some of it we want to be tactful with what we share here. So there's kind of a long roadmap that we won't have to go through all of it here. But there's some really big hitters that we want to share with people. And just for context for everyone that's watching this, like our playbook thus far has been just reinvesting for growth. You guys have probably seen the platform evolve because we just keep on putting our chips back on the table, just keep on reinvesting because the vision started small, but we knew we were going to grow into something much bigger. And so I want to touch on some of that here today. Kyle, I'm going to pass off the reins to you in terms of where do we want to start here? Do we want to go chronological in terms of what's going to be released first from areas of most importance to least importance? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think chronological makes sense.
Okay, cool. Well, if anyone knows the chronology better than you, I'd be shocked. So do you want to start off on what we got in the docket first?
Let's see. Yeah. Let me think about that. Okay, yeah. So what do we have going on? No, we have a lot. So the first thing is we're going to, we're basically working on improving our scrubbing accuracy. We feel that our wetlands and our flood zone is pretty good on accuracy. And our landlocked is pretty good. But we want to just continue to improve that. I won't be happy until it's pretty much 99.99999 accurate, which is pretty darn accurate. And we're making moves. We already got about 10% more accurate over the past. Well, basically in the past 24 hours, we have a big data set of known good data, and we're just going through and making sure our algorithms can basically work across the United States. It's very hard to make it work across the whole United States. Certain areas, yes, but everywhere is another story. So, yeah, we have that. And let's see.
Kyle, can I just jump in for 1 sec? I just want to provide a little color for people. Also, in the last week, I think what was it, a 3x or a 4x on scrubbing speed?
It's ridiculous now.
Yeah. It must have been like 5x, 6x. Like I think I measured it was at least 5x.
So a 5x speed increase. So what used to take you 5 minutes is chopped down to potentially a minute. It's bananas how fast it is nowadays. It was already fast. It's lightning fast now. I just want to give a little color though. So like if you're not scrubbing inside of Land Insights, more than likely what you're doing is you're using a VA. Could you be doing it yourself? Sure, but most people aren't. What I've seen is a VA has about a 70 to 75% hit rate for accuracy. That's both in terms of things that should be kept in, they get removed, and things that should be removed that get kept in. It cuts both ways, right? Right now, the flood zones and the wetland scrubbing inside of Land Insights, I would say is about 99.9999% accurate. that data is a lot more binary. It's really black and white for us to determine, does it have flood zones? Does it not have flood zones? Same thing with wetlands. When it comes to the landlocked, there's so many variables there. I mean, something as simple as there's foliage covering a road, and from a satellite image, we can't tell there's a road there. There's just all sorts of weird nuance that happens. Right now in the landlocked scrubbing, I would say we're at about a VA's accuracy or maybe a little bit higher. So our hit rate is still really good, but we're looking to bring that to the same hit rate as a flood zone or a wetland scrub, which is, again, 99.99% accurate. And there's always going to be some riffraff that happens if you're dealing with satellite images. We're working on some new data sets that will remedy a lot of this stuff. But what we've been working on is kind of doing a giant study compared to manual scrubbing, where Island's team has gone through and scrubbed a ginormous manual data set and comparing that to LandInsight scrubbing, kind of back testing the two. So that's where we're at there. I think there's going to be kind of two leaps that we make for landlocked scrubbing and really all of our scrub features. Is both the improvements we're making today and then the unlocking of the new data sets, which we'll talk about here in a minute. Anything else I missed there, Kyle?
Yeah, so upcoming, we have a lot of extra scrubs that we want to get into. We want to offer some sort of bundle discount for combining multiple scrubs. So if you scrub like wetlands, flood zone, and landlocked, you would get a good discount there. We're also going to be adding road frontage pretty soon. So shout out to all the subdividers. You will get that, and we'll have that in terms of feet and also in just percentage of the perimeter. So you can decide how you would want to do that.
Kyle, let me back up real quick. Just to double click on that. So what you're saying is we're going to have a scrub that people can use to input how much road frontage they want to find subdivided properties. Is that right?
Right.
Okay, that's effing bananas. Let's just rewind that for a second. What we're saying is you guys could come into Land Insights and say, hey, look, I want to find properties that have two-sided road frontage with at least 3,000 feet of road frontage, and just find those results and just go target those for subdivides. I would say that plus slope, plus wetlands, plus a few other things are really, that's the ingredient that makes a good subdivide. But really road frontage is the ultimate catalyst for, do we even want to consider it? I think the reason that marketing for subdivides or value add deals is so hard is because right now people are going and grabbing whatever, Liberty County, Texas. They're going to go say, hey, I want to go do a 10-acre exemption-based subdivide in Texas. So I know I'm going to go for 20 acres to 2,000 acres. Has to be at least 20 acres. And they're going and hitting everything there. But maybe only 20% of those properties in the first place were even a good fit for a subdivide. So when we first started going after subdivides with direct mail, we had to spend like 25 grand to get our first subdivide through direct mail. It was insane because we were just targeting everything within a county that had friendly subdivide rules and had the right size. Now you could take that same data set, chunk it down just to the 20% that's relevant, and just go and hit that. That's bananas. It's one of those features that it almost feels like a shame to release because it's so powerful. I mean, we'd be better off just using that ourselves. Frankly, that's good. That's bananas. What would you?
How easy it is to just double down on your marketing for those subdivide marketing campaigns. It's like, I'm going to put 5 different markets out there in the next 6 months when you have that data. It's just, it's ridiculous.
And just a quick note too, Arnell, I think you're on this call. Shout out to Arnell, literally just joined Land Insights while we're on this call. I don't know if that was coincidence, good timing, or perhaps just tipped you over the edge, but welcome to Land Insights team, Arnell. Good timing. Anyways, I can't stress enough how crazy of a feature that is. And even if you have a VA right now, like there's some scrubs that are just simply impossible for a VA to produce for you. A VA could do a landlocked scrub, but they're never going to go measure every property in your data set to make sure it makes sense. And that's where AI or just technology in general will trump what a VA can do.
Yeah. There's also one other benefit I want to highlight is a lot of counties, they won't consider a property buildable unless it has so many feet of road frontage. I was running that into I think it was a county in Tennessee. It only had like 25 feet. It needed like 50 something odd or 60 feet, and it killed the deal. But it was a really good deal besides that. So if you turn on the minimum amount of feet required, then you can basically get rid of a lot of flag lots that are out there, or some people call them hatchet lots that just have that little bit of road access, and all the magic is kind of in the back. You can get rid of those pretty quickly if you just say, I really just want a minimum of 100 feet. You can kind of slice down quality property or slice out bad properties that way too.
Dude, that's such an insane feature. That's that's bananas. Do we want to touch on what we're doing with the two versions of skip tracing, both premium and basic?
Yeah. So so we're doing two things. The first thing would be we're actually lowering our price for skip tracing. So we're making our existing skip tracing. We're going to call that standard skip tracing. That's going to be 5 cents, and pretty much that's what that's what Ryland uses. That's what I use. That's what Sumner uses in terms of like the everyday marketing skip tracing. It includes basically just your target person you're trying to your contact, and then all the phone numbers and what the phone number types that you would want. So you can do cold calling, you can do texting, you can do whatever you prefer, and that's going to be 5 cents. And then we're going to have something called premium skip tracing, which I believe, Sumner, do you remember how much?
Yeah, so premium will be 7 cents, and the difference between here, the standard is going to be, so it's going to just be one contact, right? So you upload Jane Smith, you're getting Jane Smith's contact information. Right now, if you go the premium route at 7 cents, you're going to get Jane Smith and pretty much everyone that Jane Smith is related to and all of the family members' contact information. You're going to get up to 7 phone numbers per person, and you're going to get email addresses. That's amazing. There's a time and a place that we want that, but what we see, or what I've seen at least, is I don't always want that. If I'm doing a text campaign, I don't need 50 phone numbers and all the emails, and I don't want to pay a premium for that. So having the optionality to say, hey, in this context, I just need one person's phone number, and you can save 2 cents on that. I think that's a pretty big win, honestly. In the same vein too, there's no quantity that you have to hit to get these prices. You don't have to. There's really nothing you have to do. That's already just, you get access to that immediately. Most of these tools have a 500 skip minimum, and you usually have to pre-buy a boatload of credits to even get access to pricing like that. This is kind of what we dreamed up of, like in terms of what I've always wanted from a skip tracing platform, both the optionality and the pricing that makes sense a la carte. Just for context and full candor, Stripe has a $1 minimum. It's the most annoying thing ever. So yes, there is a $1 minimum that we can't evade, but other than that, there's truly no minimum that you have to hit.
And to put the standard and premium skip tracing into context, the way we're using it in our business is we always hit everything, like we cast a wide net with our marketing. So when we're hitting a new market for the first time, we're hitting it with that standard skip trace. And then if we want all those phone numbers, if we just want to double down on everything, make sure we contact every single landowner, we'll go premium. And that's usually when we determine that that's a great market. So maybe we've done 1 or 2 deals in that market. We'll go ahead and re-skip and do all of our cold calling, all of our cold texting, emailing with the premium. So it's cheaper in terms of like a consistent marketing stream, because you're casting a wide net and then you're doubling down on certain areas. It's kind of like mail. Like sometimes you'll just mail one county once. You'll say, hey, I don't like this place, I'll move on to the next. But when we're testing a market and verifying it's a good market by doing a deal there, we're going back and re-skip tracing with the premium data.
Smart, super smart. Kyle, good question in the chat. Now that we've moved to a credit-based system, they're saying, can you use credits for skip tracing to avoid the Stripe minimum?
Correct. Yeah, you can skip one, no problem, because you pay once to get the credits, and chances are you're probably paying more than $1 when you charge up.
Yep.
And yeah, you can use one. You can scrub one as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good point too, just for those that aren't using the platform. We have moved over to a credit-based system. And there's benefits like we just covered here with avoiding some of those minimums and just a slew of other things that we're working on for specials with credits and whatnot. And actually on that note, I want to just make a quick announcement. On this call, if you guys stick around to the end, we're going to do a little Land Insights pop quiz, where we're going to do 2 pop quiz questions that we're going to come up with on this call. And the winner, if you're a Land Insights user, will get 2,500 free credits. We're going to do that for 2 people. So we're going to give out 5,000 Land Insights credits. You can use those for skip tracing, you use those for scrubbing. We're gonna give that out here on the call today. So stick around to the end. We're gonna do a little Q&A. I'm gonna have you guys pop it in the chat. First person to answer the question correctly, if you're a Land Insights user, you'll get the 2,500 free credits. And if you're not a Land Insights user, hey, maybe this is the day that you decide to sign up because you get 2,500 credits upon joining. Also, one other thing I want to throw out there, one of the changes that we've made is when you join, regardless of the pop quiz, for every new Land Insights user, you're starting out of the gates with 2,500 credits, right guys? Yeah. So one of the changes we put in place is if you're brand spanking new and you join Land Insights, now you're starting with a base of 2,500 credits. So today, if you guys sign up and you win the pop quiz, talking about starting with 5,000 credits, which is probably about your first month of marketing right there, which is pretty awesome. All right, gents, should we hit on the big golden goose, or do you guys want to keep on going through some of the minor benefits?
Golden goose.
Golden goose. All right, guys, can I get in the chat, can I get like a little drum roll, please? Probably the biggest announcement we've made to date for Land Insights. I guess there's no fancy way to say it other than just coming out of the gate and saying it in layman's terms. Land Insights will now be a data provider. So it'll be a full stop end-to-end marketing platform where you'll be pulling all of your ownership data. We'll have an a la carte and the unlimited data model that's more affordable than anything that exists in the market today. There's not one platform you could point to that'll have better pricing what Land Insights offers. And the reason that we're able to do that is because we're essentially at the Costco model, right? Because people have a subscription to be on site of Land Insights. You guys get access to discounted pricing that you've seen across the board for scrubbing or for skip tracing. And now we're adding that for ownership data. We've been working on the data licenses for a while now. We just kind of finalized some of the negotiations to have access to every ownership record across the US, both for land and houses, where you have access to all of it. The reason we want house data in there is, as you guys know, land data sometimes is mislabeled, or in some cases it has a small structure on it or what have you. So we have really every piece of ownership data across the board. The crazy thing on top of that, though, is this is actually going to have downstream effects that improve every other part of the platform. Namely when it comes to scrubbing. So the new scrubs that we're able to build out because we have access to the ownership data kind of natively within the platform is a game changer. So the stuff that we have currently for landlocked scrubbing or wetland scrubbing, floods, that's truly just the beginning. There's scrubs that you probably couldn't even fathom that will be coming to Land Insights. So super excited. Anything you guys want to touch on that before I get off my soapbox?
No, I mean, it's going to be better than, Data Tree, Land Vision, all of them included, because, right, it's built for land investors, by land investors. I just always felt like Data Tree was very corporate, and we're building something that's just for land investors in their language. And we're going to add features that no big company or really any other company, I think, could really build. And we're just focusing on land investors. So we're just going to add things that other people wouldn't be interested in or could add.
Yeah, because you look at a big player like whatever, Data Tree, Land Vision, land investors are a blip on their radar. We are the least important demographic on their tools, and bless their heart, they build good tools and they work with a lot of people, but they're not here just to serve us, right? And this will be, to my understanding, one of the only platforms that's truly built end-to-end for land investors by land investors. And all the things that we've bashed our head against the walls with all these other platforms, we finally get to build those tiny little features, those tiny little improvements that only make sense if you are doing this stuff full time. And those are resources would never be invested to do that for any of these big companies. We're super excited. We actually just hired our, I guess technically third engineer, if you consider Kyle the lead engineer, that's going to be pretty much working on this full time. And so we're going full bore ahead. People are asking what the timeline is. It's not something that I want to put a date on, to be honest. Something I'm not going to put a date on. I don't think Kyle would like it if I did. But do we want to talk about any of the pricing models, or do you guys want to wait to talk about that down the line?
It's not quite finalized, but we can give, I guess, an idea of what we're doing. So we're doing a plan that gives you access to unlimited data. So you'll pay a certain premium for that. And then we'll also have our price per record data plan, just like the ones you see in Data Tree. But again, they're going to be more affordable than anything you see on the market. So there'll be two options. If you're a big marketer, you'll want to go after that unlimited data plan. But if you're just starting out, or maybe you're not past that threshold yet, where it makes sense to get on an unlimited data plan, you'll do the price per record plan.
Yeah. And just to give a little color, typically what we see is once you eclipse about 100,000 records per year, that's usually where the unlimited data plan becomes kind of a no-brainer. So you can kind of use that as a litmus test for yourself. Some of the really cool things are going to happen. So this platform will be native inside of Land Insights. Right now, it will just be for Land Insights users. There may be a time that we roll it out independently. For now, you will have to be a Land Insights user to get access to it. Again, you want to think about this like the Costco model, right? There's huge discounts to be had. Land Insights was already a value just for the market selection alone. It becomes a no-brainer when you are getting access to pretty much everything you need within your marketing cadence all in one tool. There's going to be a few different things that we're changing that I think are going to be really valuable. So if you are a Land Insights data user, guys, you've got the a la carte plan or you've got the unlimited plan, when you go to export your data, your scrubs for flood zones, wetlands, and landlocked properties will be free. Okay? If you're pulling data through Land Insights, those scrubs are free. Now, if you're not pulling data from Land Insights, that's fine. You don't have to use that. You'll still have access to the a la carte pricing that currently exists inside of Land Insights to upload your records from fill in the blank platform and scrub them within there. But if you are a Land Insights data user, those scrubs will be pro bono comped for you, which I think is a really cool feature. Now, there's a few new scrubs that are being added that won't fall under that umbrella of pro bono because frankly, they're just substantially more complex and they're a niche. They're not needed for every data set. Every data set, in my opinion, needs flood zones, wetlands, and landlocked scrubbing. There's just no way around it. Perfect says, should I hold off on signing up for 1 year of LandVision? Yes, I would say so. I mean, look, it's your call. This will certainly be out before 12 months. So it'll be out while you're still under that contract. I'm not going to push you one way or the other. It's ultimately your call. But it'll be out sooner than 1 year. That much I can guarantee. On that note, one of the things that we are going to do, we're going to do kind of a pre-launch VIP list for folks that want early access to the data platform at a hearty discount. So we're going to do kind of like a pilot group. You guys aren't necessarily going to get early access to the platform, but we're going to do a cohort that gets a healthy discount for kind of folks that pre-enroll into the data platform. So Herbeck, if you're thinking about re-ing up with LandVision, perhaps I would hold off on that, reallocate those funds to signing up for the pre-launch, and we'll have more details as that comes out. Tim says, full transparency, hearing about the plans to start providing data was what pushed me over the edge to start my Land Insights subscription. Heck yeah, I love that. Ari says, is the per record model on a contract? Good question. No contracts, no freaking contracts. Take the contract and burn it, light it on fire. I don't believe in contracts for SaaS apps. I just think that's so dumb. No, you're not locked into anything. You can leave whenever you want. It's fine by us. Our goal is to build such a good platform that you never want to leave. And so a contract is irrelevant at that point. Gents, anything you guys want to add to that?
Yeah, Michelle asked, will it have features of LandVision? Answer is yes. I'd be curious, Michelle, what features you're looking for. We're all ears. But yeah, I mean, pretty much we want to have something that's on par and better than LandVision in a lot of ways. In fact, they changed their name recently, right? It's what is it, guys? It's like Lifebox Vision or something like that. They're moving away from land. They realized maybe that's not who their avatar is. They want to focus on home builders, developers, that kind of thing. So we're going to fill that gap and, be a lot better. So yeah, I mean, pull the data, I don't know. I don't know if we should go through a whole list of features, but yeah, it'll drop in replacement. Yeah.
Yeah. Michelle, what I'll say is, I mean, it's not, and look, I want to respect what LandVision and DataTree and all these other tools have created. And we're not in the business of just trying to emulate. There's a lot of really cool things that they've done that are relevant to land investors. There's a lot of stuff that isn't relevant for land investors. So if you're looking for kind of a one-to-one carryover, this certainly won't be that because 70% of that platform is just not relevant to what we do. I think the main demographic for like a LandVision is probably an entitler or like a real estate developer. So I don't know what features you use in there. Some of it certainly might not, but anything that we have found to be relevant for land investors, you can bet that it'll most likely be an iteration and an improvement upon what already exists today. And one thing I think is really important, just kind of like a culture standpoint, you guys will see if you're a Land Insights user, look on the left-hand bar, scroll down to the bottom. What do you guys see? See feature request. We live and die by feature request. So coming out of the gate, will we have every single feature you could ever want? Maybe not. But we thrive in a way where we always keep our ears open and we're taking the best feedback and we're putting it onto a roadmap. Everything has kind of a different timeline of where it ends up on that roadmap. But we look at literally every single feature request we get and we take them to heart. So if there are things that you find to be really relevant that you say, I wish this was in the tool today, let us know. We're all ears. I can't guarantee where it's going to slot in that timeline of the roadmap, but I guarantee we will review it. And if we think it's relevant, has the highest impact for our users, it'll be added to the roadmap. Gents, I'm going to go fill up my water real quick. I know, bad content. I'm going to be right back. Where do you guys want to take it from here?
So I can talk about a couple other features that we're going to add. We can talk about feature requests.
I want to talk about the future of the land market as well.
That's juicy.
That is juicy. Hold on. Let's for those that are watching this, we're going to go future the land market towards the end of this call. Guys, so stick around. I think that's going to be really interesting. We're going to do the pop quiz at the end as well. Kyle, let's just kind of put a bow and finish up the litany of new features that are coming out.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a feature request come in the other day. Basically, hey, full screen map for market selection. We're going to add that. We're targeting probably the next 2 to 3 weeks, maybe a little sooner. We're going to add a right-click feature to the market selection page where, and this actually pairs very well with the full screen. So imagine you have a full screen map. You can see a market you like, right? You're hovering over, you see a nice tooltip. Okay, oh yeah, like 6 months sell-to rate, exactly where I want it to be. You can right-click that county or that zip code, and then you can add it to your My Markets without having to scroll down to the table and add it, right? So we hear you there. We agree that's a good feature, and we know that's going to affect the whole user base. I don't know, Ryan. We get a Slack every single time someone submits a feature request, or at least I do, and I'm seeing at least 3 to 4 a week, and they're definitely stacking up, and we're prioritizing them. So we try to get to at least 1 to 3 a week. But I don't know. Are there any features that you would like to see in Land Insights?
So there's the one data set that you sent to me, which we now have, which shows population demographics, income demographics. There's a lot in that data set, but there definitely is something from my research into that data set. A lot of the positive ways they analyze that data, it all correlates to where our successful markets are. So we've got something in the works regarding population demographics and like income demographics, just showing how well everybody's doing in that county or zip code. So that's one thing I'd like to see implemented. I'm not sure what our timeline is on that. It's not a huge project to undertake, but I think it's something we'll see in the near future, which I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah, that's definitely something that we're invested in adding, is not only that data set, but a lot of other data sets where you can just layer on top of the map that would provide some sort of insight. It could be income level, it could be age, it could be, identifying those micropolitan markets where you can kind of see cluster of population in different ways. So you might be able to combine them and kind of filter them to your liking. So we really want to add a lot of data layers, and maybe in 2 years we'll have like 50 of them. We'll see, because once we get started,
we already have. I think we have 48. Don't we?
Yes, we do. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot on the roadmap. I wish I could share everything, but there's so much. All right. Perfect timing. So much.
Yeah. All the good stuff.
You get sick yet in Bali, Sumner?
Yeah, I'm literally just getting over being sick. I had to get an IV hooked up to me like 2 or 3 days ago.
The IVs are game changing.
Literally, it's like an instant recovery. It's amazing. And like you text them, and within 25 minutes, that's your house. You're hooked up. They're hitting with B vitamins, vitamin C, all this nonsense. And I do feel better, but yeah, it's jarring, man. I mean, the problem is it's like the food safety here is really low. Like they'll cook meat and just leave it out all day. Yeah. And I had some sushi that was definitely bad. Like it tasted like an armpit, and I still ate it. and dude, 2 days ago, I got like this breakfast sandwich. This is my fault. I literally left it out all day in my kitchen, but it's like the AC was on, so I kind of rationalized it. And I was so hungry, and I ate it, and I got sick again. So, yeah, it's no fun.
I know Bali's pretty inexpensive. What are those IVs run? You don't mind me asking?
Yeah, no. How dare you ask that, Kyle? So personal. No, I'd say about $80 to $120, depending on what you get.
Okay.
I paid a premium because like I went to there's the only one that was still open that late, and it was like the most expensive service. Get this though, so it was $120. They're averaging 30 of these a day, right? So they're averaging $3,600 a day, which in Bali is insane. And the median wage here is about $250 a month. Who knows what their employees are making? But there's a real labor arbitrage on something like that, just like having a team of VAs, and only expats are paying for that. So it's really an interesting, very interesting model. I was shocked at the quantity that they were doing.
Nurses pulling up on scooters with all their equipment.
Yeah, literally. No, literally. There's a scooter on everything, man. It's unreal. One of the craziest shock factors, though, is so you'll use an app called Gojek here. It's kind of like the Uber, but it's like Uber on scooters. And literally the average Gojek ride, like you might go 10 or 20 minutes, is legitimately like 75 cents for us. It's absolutely insane. I love motorcycles, so I've been renting scooters and motorcycles. I just picked up a new motorcycle yesterday, like a little like cafe racer style thing, and it's legitimately cheaper just to Gojek everywhere than even rent your own bike. It's crazy. And allegedly, those guys make, I think, 20% of the rides fare. So the app takes a disgusting amount. So I tip the Gojek drivers fat. In fact, I want to make a T-shirt that says "Tip your Gojek driver" and just wear it everywhere. They're just goated, dude. They're the best. And anyways. All right, Ryan, you want to go over state of the land market, where things are headed, some big, bold predictions?
Yes, this is an exciting topic for me. I don't think anyone realizes what's about to go down this winter. I think there's going to be a huge slowdown. Already I'm seeing, compared to last year anyways, at this point in time, our listings are much slower than what we saw last year. Sure, in our top performing markets, they're doing well. Premium properties sell quickly. But for the properties that maybe aren't so premium, maybe they're steep slopes or they're 3 hours from a metro, those are sitting. And luckily it's the summer still, and some of those are selling. I know Sumner and I went on a deal fund last year on a property that sat for 11 months and it just sold today. I was sitting on a 25 acre out in North Carolina for 6 months. That just sold this week. So things are still selling, but I do think there's going to be a serious slowdown because of the election and specifically interest rates as well. So this is just from my experience. We contact realtors on the weekly basis. And when we're contacting realtors, it's not just one or two, it's like 15 to 20 a week. And the common theme we're getting is everybody's waiting. So on properties that may even be premium in an okay market, they're just like, we expected demand here, but we haven't gotten any inquiries. Or the people that did inquire on it, they're hesitant. They're just waiting on what's going to happen with the election. So I would just be wary, especially if you're self-funding any deals. I'd just be careful with what you're choosing. You need to make sure it's in a good market, it is a good quality property, because there's a good chance that this sits until the spring if you buy it now. So that's what I'm seeing. Do you guys have any input in your businesses of what's going on?
Yeah. Well, I think too, if you pair such a pivotal event like an election, like the interest rate stuff, also just with a natural seasonal slowdown that you get in the winter, you kind of have a crazy trifecta of things probably pulling back. I've been saying this since I felt the effects, which was really the summer to fall of 2022. I'll never forget it. It was like someone turned a light switch off. Like that COVID demand, it's like someone took a vacuum and just sucked it out of our business. It was July or August of 2022. Everything had been moving really quickly, and it just like came to a screeching halt. And the stuff that came to the screeching halt was the properties that were questionable in any way, the properties that had a little hair on them, bad slope or fill in the blank. And so my premise since then is like, I really try to just buy the A+ stuff. And if it's not A+, I'm double closing it. And I've always said like double closing for me is a way to take down deals that have a question mark on them for fill in the blank reason. It's usually more of like a material problem and less of a just price problem, although price is kind of the great equalizer. So yeah, I mean, we're not gonna stop buying deals. We're not gonna slow down our acquisitions. We're not gonna slow down our marketing. But I'm gonna be very selective with the price I lock things up at and how I lock them up at, in terms of, am I double closing more? What are my terms of those double close contracts? Things along those lines. Potentially doing some interesting stuff with owners, and there's some cool deals that we're working on right now where we don't have to bring a lot of cash to the table, but we still get access to control a property and do some value add things. So yeah, I mean, I'm still seeing grade A properties and grade A markets are still selling quick. Like that hasn't changed for us. I do think too, when there's fear and uncertainty in the world, I don't know if it's the immediate reaction, but I know it is a reaction that people flock to a physical asset like land. Just for the inflation hedge, but also when shit's really scary, people want something that they could go live on and survive off of. So I still think that premium grade A rural recreational land and good markets is still going to be in demand, no matter what the outcome is of the election. That's my hunch. I could be totally wrong. If I'm flipping little infill lots in some crappy subdivision in Florida, I'm probably a lot more concerned, to be honest.
Yeah. So like at the end of the day, land's still going to sell. It's never going to lose its demand. But I do think market selection is more important than it ever has been since I've been in the business anyways.
Yeah.
And I can just talk from prior experience. In 2020, during the election, things slowed down a little bit. But in spring of 2021, things just went absolutely crazy. But there was also a lot of other things affecting what was going on. But I just remember that was ridiculous. Everything sold, no matter where you bought it. So I think there will be a big upheave in demand Q1 and Q2 next year. But coming into November, I think things will slow down a little bit. So it's just important you be careful, especially on the front end of due diligence, and just make sure you're scrubbing your data and only going after high quality properties.
Yeah. No, 100%. And actually, just quick asterisk, shout out to Paul. Paul just joined Land Insights too while we're on this call. Paul, welcome. Dude, I think that I get a lot of deals sent to me that people want to partner on, or a good amount at least. And dude, some of these deals are legitimately liabilities. Like some of the stuff I see you guys going after in certain markets and just certain properties, you guys either need to get educated or something needs to change, because if you're buying those properties, you're going to get steamrolled. I'm talking about the funkiest of the funk and the craziest bizarre markets. And so now is the time to skill up. It's a time to level up, both in terms of the tools you have and frankly, just in terms of education. There's a lot of BS that's been spread in this business that somehow land investing is as simple as picking a market, throwing out some mail and buying some deals. I think all three of us can attest to the fact that that's not the case. Yeah, from a 30,000 foot view, that's what happens, but there's a little more that goes into it. And so if you're running this business with a limited tool stack or limited education, I would be concerned. And I don't say that just as the guy that has a vested interest in you choosing. It doesn't matter if you work with us or someone else. I think as this business matures, like the skill bar keeps on getting raised higher and higher and higher, whether it's because the market's changing or there's more competitors coming into the space. And so you need to be skilling up and you need to be tooling up. That's just the reality of it. But one of the luxuries that I get to see from the Leah side of things and seeing into so many different businesses, and the same thing with Land Insights, is like people are still printing, people are still crushing, but they're really savvy. Like they're really, really savvy. And if you're the guy that's just going on YouTube University trying to figure it out, be careful. Be careful. Kyle, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, when things slow down, I honestly believe you should double down on marketing and all that stuff, because what's happening is the funnel is getting thinner about what properties you would want to buy, just so you can turn quick. So that means you kind of need to double down on your mail, or whatever your marketing method is. And then obviously picking good markets and scrubbing obviously helps a lot, right? You can shave off, 3,000 bad properties. Now you can send 3,000 mailers to somewhere good. So for me, it's just when I hear that, it just means double down.
Yeah. I think in the same vein too, I talked about in the beginning of this call, one of my focuses this year was resourcefulness. How do we take more leads and turn them into more deals through sales skills or through deal making skills? One of my other big focuses this year is revenue per employee. So how do I keep overhead and payroll low, but performance really high? And so if if things get crappy and deals double in terms of how long it takes to sell, I've got an overhead that's manageable or at least flexible. I could kind of flex some of those costs. Like rather than spending 25 grand a month on marketing, that's a flexible cost though. To lay off half your team theoretically is flexible. It's a horrible position to be in. So I'm trying to have a really just nimble, highly focused team of A players. And sometimes that means trimming the fat kind of preemptively. Just as a side note, one of the things that I've learned that I wish someone told me a lot longer, or when I first started a long time ago, is if you have someone on your team that is so obviously not an A player, the smartest thing you can do is to cut them right now. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes, and it's like a cancer in your business. And the standards that you set, if you set the standard that B+ is okay, that starts to encroach into how other people start behaving as well. And so now is the time to do that. If there's riffraff on your team, cut it now, both from a payroll standpoint, but also just because you need to set a standard in your team. And I wish I knew that in the beginning. And firing people fucking sucks. It sucks. But yeah, something I'm going through currently, so I figured it's relevant to share. All that to be said, it's not all doom and gloom, guys. There's still a lot of cool shit happening. If I look at the deals that we've locked up in the last month, there's a lot of stuff I'm really excited about. But yeah, be smart out there. Play it safe. Ryan, anything else you want to add on where the puck is going in the land business?
No, I think we covered all the points.
What about just anything that you're seeing? Well, I'll add just one thing on there. I think something that I've seen happening, and I'm going to continue to see this trend happening. This kind of goes on the A player side of things. So when I first started this business, we were all dispositions internally. We've kind of moved away from that, started using more and more realtors. What I've found is there's about a 50% difference in our days on market between a flat fee MLS listing and a realtor listing. It's ginormous for us. Partially that's because some of the flat fee MLSs don't even route the freaking submissions to you, and you have to hound them just to get the contact form sent to you. So there's some of that, but I just find that they sell substantially slower. So in a market that's naturally slowing down, we want to stack the odds in our favor to sell our property. So I probably wouldn't be using flat fee MLS heavily, maybe in very one-off cases. So we kind of moved more to a realtor model. But even in the realtor domain, if you don't have an A+ realtor, it is really difficult to sell your properties. If you don't have a realtor that's willing to follow up with leads, that's willing to take showings any day of the week, that actually knows the land market and can explain that to a buyer, or can even guide you in terms of why this is a deal or isn't a deal, I think you're missing out. And so one of the things that we added in Land Insights about 3 months ago is a realtor report. So for free, you can go and plug in any county that you want, and it'll go show you a list ranked from best to worst based off of how many listings they're selling and all their contact information and active listings and all that stuff. And you get to go and choose your realtors through there. We're working on a really cool additional feature on top of that that's insane, honestly. If you're not using that, or you don't have a way to go source the best realtors, you're going to get left in the dust. Because the truth is, you're already going to pay a realtor 6%, or whatever the math is. You might as well funnel that 6% to an A player. Or in fact, if you're going to pay 6% to a dog shit realtor versus 8% to a great one, pay the 8% to the great one. And so I think just in your team, you can't be having any B+ players. I think it's the same thing with contractors that we're using, or realtors or what have you. And I'm sure you guys have seen this, but there is such a stark difference between an A+ realtor and a C+ or a B-. Have you guys seen that in your business?
Oh yeah.
It's literally, it's not even comparable.
I've got good friends and really bad enemies.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
One thing I love about the realtor report is I turn into an SOP. So right now when we get a new deal, I just have an acquisition manager just go down the list. It's already pre-sorted, and he just cold calls every realtor. Maybe the top like 30% of them. And by that point, we found someone that's pick up the phone like they're ready to go, and we kind of know their history because we see the active and the sold. So it's kind of allowed me to step back and just say, hey, Jorge, just go find the realtor, and he knows as soon as he gets a deal locked up to go do that. So it's a great tool as a business owner just to have it, and it's very easy to train on. You can record a quick loom on what you'd like them to do, and yeah, then you also quality control, right? You know that they're looking at all the sites, and they're really picking truly the best realtor, and not just like the first one that they found or the third one that they found, and they thought, okay, yeah, 4 listings on market, good enough, right? You can kind of have quality control, which is being an engineer. I really like that aspect of you can systematize things. So that's how I'm using it.
Nice. There's something I wanted to touch on that. I'm blanking on it. Yeah, it'll come to me. Anyways, guys, one thing I forgot to mention to the beginning of this call. So as you guys know, for Land Insights, we have like a launch model, right? So it's not evergreen. We open up seats, we close seats, we open up seats, we close seats. We opened up 50 seats, I don't know what, a month ago, maybe somewhere in that range, plus or minus a couple of weeks. And I just got a report from Ari that we have 21 seats left. So you guys see that link down below. If you're thinking about getting on a demo call or joining Land Insights, just for context, there's only 21 seats left until those seats expire. We close up shop, and we'll do another launch sometime in the fall. We typically do like a 50 increment launch, usually quarterly, somewhere in that range. Guys, you want to go and should we do a little raffle here? Should we do a little data raffle for people? And then what we're going to do, we'll do a data raffle, and then we're going to do a Q&A. So any questions that you guys have can be across the board. It doesn't have to be anything to do with Land Insights. Wherever you guys want to take it, we'll do a little Q&A action. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go, do you know how DBL says, do you know how many Land Insights users currently? Triple digits, I'll just say that much. What we're going to do here is we're going to do a little Q&A. We're going to do a little raffle, and we're going to do a Q&A. Whoever answers the question correctly and puts it inside the chat will be the winner. Ari's going to be taking note of that. He'll be reaching out. If you're a Land Insights user, we'll credit your account 2,500 credits. If you're not a Land Insights user, well, we'll have that on reserve if you do join or when you do join. All right, guys. Here we go. First one. What is the average before and after increase of in ROAS for a Land Insights user? And I'm looking for this specific number. It's a very specific number. We've shared this many times before. In fact, I even mentioned at the beginning of this call. There is a decimal point. I won't include the decimal here. What is the exact before and after number? DBL, 91%. It's 91.67%. DBL is the winner. DBL, can you put your name in the chat just so we have that on file? I'm not quite sure who's behind the username there. Put that on file. Ari's going to take note. DBL, 2,500 credits added to your account. It's 91.67%. That is essentially a doubling in ROAS. So if you are at 10x, you're at whatever, 19x before and after using Land Insights. So that's Ben McKenzie. Ari, I'm going to have you, Ben, I don't know if you want to put your email here. That might be the easiest way for Ari to get a hold of you, or if you're already inside of the Land Insights platform, Ari can go through and find your contact. So I don't know what 5 to 10 cents means. Putting in dollar figures. Ashley says, well, I'm listening to you guys. USPS delivered a box of cookies for joining Leah. Thank you, Sumner and Leah team. Heck yeah, Ashley. Absolutely. Happy to have you both in Leah and Land Insights. Yeah, awesome, Ben. You'll reach out to Ari in Discord. Kudos on winning. One thing, too, I'm going to do something that I didn't even know I'm going to do. I'm also going to give away a free ticket to our Leah Mastermind. So we're going to do 3 questions here today, okay? We just banged out one, so we got 2 more. Free ticket to our Mastermind is Las Vegas, October 11th, 12th, and 13th. 11th is a VIP day. 12th and 13th is general admission. 300 land investors right off the strip on Fremont Street, or right by Fremont Street in Old Town, Las Vegas. In fact, if you guys want to go grab your tickets, if you don't win, it's landinvestor.co/mastermind. We sold out of VIP. We just have general admission left. For VIP members, we're renting a Formula One go-kart track on Friday and big dinner. There's going to be private breakout rooms for the VIPs at the event. We got folks like Callan Faulkner, John Jasniak. I mean, just everyone you can imagine speaking at the event. Of course, Rylan will be there. Dennis will be there. Kyle will be there. Michael will be there. All the slew of Leah folks will be there as well. It's going to be absolutely gangbusters. So we're going to do one more Land Insights question, and then I'm going to give away a free general admission ticket to our mastermind. All right, guys, who wants to come up with the next question?
I got one. Okay, this will require going into Land Insights, guys. So is that okay, Summer? We're doing it for anyone or Land Insight users?
We did, the last one was for everyone. Let's call this one for Land Insights users.
Okay. All right. So guys, go ahead and load up your Land Insights account here. So in the past year, which county has sold the most amount of land? And
good one.
And I'm looking at 1 to 2 acres. So 1 to 2 acres in Texas, which county has sold the most in the past year?
Damn, I don't even know that off the top of my head. If someone actually knows it off the top of their head, I'd be amazed. Let's see. First one to it. First one to it. And theoretically, this could be done manually. It'll just take you 1,000 years to figure it out.
Sorry, Sean. Paying health tax.
You need to be freaking selecting markets while you're working out. Okay, you're not committed enough, bro. To be honest, you're slacking.
Sean, can't you use it on your phone?
Dallas County?
I don't think it's Dallas County, but I could be wrong.
It's not Dallas County. Texas, 1 year sold, 1 to 2 acres. We'll have to make Sean an Apple Watch app for Land Insights.
We got to do a VR implementation where you can VR the counties.
With the globe. And you just go like this to select a market.
We'll be the first to implement Elon Musk's chip. What do you call it?
Yeah. I forget what it's called. The not Alpha Brain. It's something like that. Clay County? No. 1 to 2 acres. Sold in Texas. Got to filter on Texas. Yes, Montgomery. Correct. All right. I think it's Bradley. I'm gonna check the list here. Anyone else? No, I think it's Bradley. Congrats. All right, DBL, you're really close. Within a minute of each other, probably within like 4 seconds. So that's good.
Is that Montgomery County, Alabama?
Texas.
No, Texas. Yeah, Texas.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
How many properties have sold there in the last year?
It's let's see, 278, 1 to 2 acres.
Wow. Crazy,
Yeah.
man.
It's actually right next. It's just north of. So it's the Woodlands. So if you know anything about where people are moving in the United States, if you search like best places to live in the United States, one of the places is the Woodlands in Texas. I actually happen to be. Well, I'm from kind of not necessarily that area, but it's kind of a little bit south. It's a little bit north of where I'm from, but I'm actually really surprised. But I'm also not surprised because it's a very nice area. And they're just going, lots of subdivisions, very, very nice. A lot of trees and like large acres and nice houses. So, and it's still affordable. So, I might be moving back to Texas at some point in the next 2 years.
That's like you like it.
I do. Yeah, I am in Texas.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So 2 winners, 5,000 credits given away. And again, if you guys join Land Insights, for example, for the folks that have joined since we've been on this call, even without the raffle, you guys automatically get 2,500 free credits right out of the gate. Just as a way to go and stress test the tools before you decide to integrate them in your business. Obviously, it's no small feat to build out a new SOP and to add a new tool to your business, but we want you guys to test drive them before you go too deep with them. All right, next one is to give away a free ticket to our mastermind. I feel like we're like Oprah. It's like, you get a ticket, you get credit, you get credit. Free mastermind ticket. Again, if general admission, so that's the 12th to 13th, 11th is the VIP day. Could there be a slight chance that we release more VIP tickets? I don't know. Got to talk to our event planner. It's possible. What I will say, the funniest kind of insight into human psychology, we sell out of VIP tickets. Immediately, 20 people are like, hey, I wanted to get a VIP ticket. I missed it. Same thing. We'll sell out of general admission. Everyone says, oh, I wanted to get my ticket. Humans love to procrastinate. Show me you're better than that. Why are you going to procrastinate? Put it on your calendar. Make sure you can make it. Buy your ticket. Keep it really simple. If we do release more VIP tickets, the folks that already have a general admission ticket will be first on the list to know, and then it'll just prorate the difference. So if you're even thinking about attending, I would lock in a general admission ticket, and then if we open up more VIP, you guys can go that route. All right. Question. Free mastermind ticket. Very interesting.
Land Insights question?
Could be anything. Anything tickling your guys' fancy?
Have you mentioned what area of Bali you moved to? Publicly?
Yeah, I think I have probably. I don't know if anyone will remember it.
Yeah.
What's the capital of Indonesia?
Sean says, "How much can Sumner squat?" Yeah. Let me see. I'm trying to think of a good question, man. A real stumper, huh?
You need to go to ChatGPT for this. What is a hard question, ChatGPT?
Yeah.
I mean, it should be land related.
I've got one. I got one.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. What's the exempt subdivide minimum acreage for Tennessee?
Ooh.
I know.
Ooh. Juan says, "Who was the first Leah member?" Very much inside baseball. All right, guys, what you got? Come on.
It's Heartland, 5 acres.
Yeah.
Nice. Heartland, big winner, chicken dinner. That's a free mastermind ticket. So, Juan, I know you're on this call. Let's get Heartwoodlands. I thought it was Heartland. Let's get Heartwoodlands a free ticket on the list, general admission, and make sure Amanda gets notified as well. So, Juan, I think I saw you on this call. Actually, I know you're here. So let's take note of that. Heartwoodland.com. Share your email down below, and we'll have Juan reach out to you and get you all dialed in. All right, guys, let's go through. It's Dan. Dan, what's up, man? Let's go through Q&A. General questions, land insights questions, market selection questions, living in Bali questions. What do you guys got? Throw them at us, and then we'll call it a night here.
Living in Phoenix questions.
Living in Phoenix questions.
Yeah. Yeah. Bonus. What temperature is it outside?
Yeah.
In Phoenix, Arizona. 113.
Oh, wow. Dan also just won the VA list from Dennis. So he's on fire, man. The guy's nothing but luck. And that's what happens. You hang out on these calls, you get luckier. I swear to goodness. That's how it goes. Ashley says it's 120 in Phoenix. Is that right, Kyle?
It's 120 when you get in the car. Easily.
Yeah.
You get in the car, it's like 175. It's a nice, strong sauna. There's a very low chance that unless you're driving 30 minutes away, your car would not pull down a lick. It's crazy hot. Every time I come inside, I'm like, it should be illegal to be that hot. I tell my wife that every time.
Dude, that's honestly, I'm fine with the dry heat. And I think people are a bunch of wusses when they complain about Phoenix and Las Vegas. Like, it's not my favorite weather, but it's not that bad. But when you really feel it is when you get into your car. That's when I'm like, that's disgusting. You your legs are fried if you're wearing shorts. That's when I'm like, damn, all right, that's too hot for me. But dry heat, it's not that bad. People are
leather. Okay, like a leather.
Oof, brutal.
Yeah. You gotta put gloves on. Like I feel like I'm driving. I'm like going like this. Like I'm like touching it but not touching it, just trying to like hot potato it.
Yeah,
it's kind of dangerous. I feel like so.
Okay, we got some questions in here, guys. Feel free to put as many as you want in here. We'll get through all of them. Aaron says, have you noticed getting more deals in counties with more sales data, like 40 plus sales within 12 months? Getting more deals. I'd have to go through our data. I mean, we're not if I said the median for properties or markets that we're buying in are probably median somewhere in like that 50 to 60 sold comps in a year. So we're probably right plus or minus within that range pretty tightly. I don't think there's anything that's like drastically below that. I would have to look at my data. My hunch says probably yes, but it might just be a self-fulfilling prophecy because most of the markets we work in have that much sales data just by virtue of a high sell-through rate and the right supply levels.
So I don't think there's any correlation between deals and how many properties are selling. Because sometimes you'll hit a market in the middle of nowhere that nobody's contacted, and you're going to get all these leads and all these deals. The one correlation I say would exist is counties with more sales history tend to sell quicker when you have a property listed because there's a bigger population more than likely. So more eyes on your property.
Yeah, I would agree with Rylan. The only thing that I would say to play devil's advocate of how that correlation might exist, which is roundabout, if you're in a market with whatever 40 sold comps in the last year, the likelihood that your pricing is going to be reliable for a wide acreage range is pretty low because you have finite comp data. And so potentially, if I'm grasping at straws, your offers may be less accurate, and by virtue might get worse deals. That's the only thing I could conclude as a correlation. But yeah, more so related on the sales side of things. Michelle says, how did you see how many were sold? I know how to see the active but not the sold.
JD answered that.
Okay.
Right. Yep. And
thank you, JD.
Yeah. And then reach out to RA too. He can get you on an onboarding call and walk you through it, or just reach out to him. He'll help you.
Yeah. What Michelle and anyone here, one thing that we are all obsessed with is, ensuring that everyone that uses the platform, knows how to use every piece of the platform and is getting the most value from it. So look, you could be 6 months in, and if you need to hop on a call, that invite always stands, no matter what. Reach out to Ari, email him. You want to get on a call, we'll answer any of your questions. You want to just riff through email, we'll riff through email. LandInvestors is a complex tool with a lot of different solutions in it. And my biggest fear is like, man, what if someone doesn't know how to use XYZ tool on the platform? And so that door is always open for anyone that needs support. And it's not like, oh, you can only email us. It's like, no, let's schedule a call and hop on it and we'll work through it with you. DBL, what has been the best thing about Bali so far? Oh my goodness, man. Too many to count. I don't know if it's in order of importance. It's really hard for me to rank them, but I'll hit you with a few quick hitters. One, the people are so fucking nice. It's the nicest demographic of people I've ever met. The amount of full tooth smiles you get wherever you go, it raises my emotional state because people are so friendly. They're doing this and they're smiling and they're just so warm, and it honestly changes my mood in a big way. And everyone is very much awake here. Like in the US, you're in a Starbucks line and everyone's like this. No one's talking to each other. Everyone's grumpy. You're in a Starbucks line, you're making friends. It's not even Starbucks here necessarily, but you're making friends. You're talking to the wait staff, to the cashier. People are cracking jokes. They ask you how you're doing. They actually really give a shit. It's just a different feeling. And I think that's one of the reasons that I wanted to move here. And that carries over to the locals and to the expats. Like, I don't know, people are just awake here. And if you go back to the US and it feels like you're hanging out with zombies. That's one. The fact that I get to ride a motorcycle everywhere I go. I love motorcycles. I'm too much of a wimp to ride them in the US, though. It's so scary. And I love riding motorcycles. And, it turns the mundane into like some whimsical experience. Like I'm going to get groceries and it's like an adventure. I just love that. The schedule, I know. So Rylan was here for whatever, a month or so. And I think he had kind of a different experience than me with the time zone difference. But to me, it's actually a huge benefit. So I get up around 3:30, 4:30, depending on the day. Usually work for 6 to 7 hours, and then I'm done. And so like 10 or 11 a.m., I'm done. I have a whole day ahead of me. And what's beautiful is no one's hitting me up. I'm getting no texts, no phone calls, no Slacks, no Discords, no emails, no nothing. And that feels so good because usually I get pulled in a lot of different directions. The caveat to that is like come 7 o'clock at night, you're fucking exhausted. Like my routine here is I'll work for 6, 7 hours. Then I go and lift. Then I go spar. So I've been sparring pretty much every day. Then we'll go like run errands, go to the beach, watch sunset, go to dinner. Your head hits the pillow. You are just cooked because you're living to such a huge capacity. Yeah, I think those are the main things that come to mind, honestly. There's also just a cool demographic of expats. Like everywhere I go, everyone's an entrepreneur. Everyone's doing really interesting things. Like I met this 8-figure entrepreneur at the gym the other day when I was sparring. He has a SaaS app for home buyers in Australia to get approved for financing. And he lives in Dubai. And like I'm meeting people that are course creators or YouTubers. Like everyone is doing something kind of interesting. And like you'll go to a cafe and the conversations you overhear, you're like, whoa, I would never hear that back in the States. People are talking about deep SEO tactics or using AI to make TikToks. It's like very on the cutting edge of this little internet entrepreneur scene. And I find that pretty interesting. So yeah, those are just a few things. I think we're going to do a little meetup here next year. So for those that are interested, we'll have more details sometime probably in like the Q1, Q2 of next year. 25, 30 people, week-long adventures plus land. I think 70% land, or sorry, 70% adventure, 30% land.
Go at
Summer-
70% land.
12 hours a day.
I got one question for you. So when people
Yeah.
show up, are you gonna have a complimentary IVs?
Yeah, no, complimentary IVs, complimentary enema. You know, we're gonna do you right, clean you out before you get started.
Amoxicillin.
Amoxicillin.
One for
Yeah.
you, one for you.
I was so sick that whole trip. I self-prescribed amoxicillin twice. I would just go to the pharmacy, say, "Hey, I need amoxicillin," and just give it to you. It's crazy.
Well, dude, the problem was you were working just heinous hours, which
Yeah.
I know we're busy, but at the same time, I know you don't have to work those hours. You're just an OCD little fucker that wants to work. It's all in your head, dude.
I live at full speed. There's
work.
no time to sleep. There's absolutely no time to sleep.
Yeah.
There's so many things I could be doing, you know?
I know there are, but it's ultimately is a choice. Like, it's interesting. I do have to like move schedules around and finesse some things to make the time zone work. But of course you make it work and I'm just as productive. It just constraints breed a little more ingenuity. So I know you could come back and have such a different experience. All right. So let's see. Ashley, where are the difficult states you guys see to flip land due to the new laws? So South Carolina's got the double close law. Oklahoma has some weird wholesale double close marketing laws. Georgia just put a new solicitation rule out. Those are all I can think of from like a new law standpoint, but there's states that are difficult from a data standpoint because the data is just terrible. And that's been true for a long time. Did I miss any that have new rules?
No, I mean, I did see a house wholesaler say they actually did a deal in South Carolina. So I think people are innovating ways, like you're just saying, constraints generate innovation. So there's probably just going to be new ways, maybe a little bit more complicated, but there'll be new ways. Yeah,
no, I feel that. I'm not like, honestly, people were like, my business is over, the sky is falling. I'm like, I couldn't care less, man. I've been around the block enough times to know that I will figure out a way to make it all work. And honestly, like the mark of a great entrepreneur to me is someone that like changes happen, whatever. It could be market related, could be someone leaves their team, whatever. Like they just have a high threshold for how much stress they can handle and not let it phase them. Like if you get roped into the melodrama of running a business, you're doomed because there's always shit. There's always problems. There's always changes. You just come to expect them. I literally could not care less. Like it's just really not a big deal. JD, Land Insights question. Is there a limit to the number of columns that you can apply / filters / my personal criteria? Kyle Ryland?
Oh.
Not that I'm aware of. Kyle, am I missing anything there?
Sorry, which question it was? I was thinking about something and then
is there a max? Is there a max on the amount of filters we can apply to columns? So we have 48 columns.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do 48 if you wanted to. There's also a way of double sorting. It's not super obvious, but you can actually kind of say sort by Texas or sort by alphabetical and state, and then sort by total sold within each state. There's a way of doing that. It's not super obvious. I think we should probably add some information about that. But yeah, I mean the filtering is super powerful. Kind of just like Excel.
Yeah. One thing too, I forgot to mention, this is an improvement that's being made to Land Insights, but it's not necessarily a true technical improvement, but I think it'll greatly increase the user's experience. So one, when you join Land Insights, we're building out kind of a 7-day educational sequence that people will go through. So it's 7 days of essentially modules dripped out to you about Land Insights. And then also having kind of like an automated onboarding assistant within the tool. So when you sign up, you log in for the first time, it'll say, hey, go here, click here, do this, try this, do that. And a lot of the stuff that some people have questions on that's really in the weeds will get answered through that process. But again, JD, if there's any questions, use the support feature inside of Land Insights, reach out to us. No question is too silly to ask or anything along those lines. Lightning Land Capital. My Muay Thai teacher, Crew James, used to overtrain us. I love it, man. Yeah, Muay Thai is what I'm trying to get into. I've been doing like the MMA stuff for about 6 weeks, and I absolutely love it. And Muay Thai is definitely my favorite. What I want to do is I want to go train Muay Thai in Thailand and try to take a fight. I'd love to do. I just want to do one. I don't want to incur too much brain damage, but I'd love to tell my kids one day that I did a fight. Cole says, goals, man. Can't wait to live abroad. Yeah, dude, it's funny. We've got a lot of Leah members and friends that say they're going to visit. We'll see. We've got a Leah member who's been with us, friend and Leah member who's been with us. He'll be here with us for 45 days, literally kind of building his business in real time while he's here. He's starting from scratch, and we're going to try to have him leave and have a business that at least has marketing running. He probably won't have deals by the time he leaves. And I've got some people from our team coming out. So I want this to be kind of a hub for members and team members and friends, and just bring people together here. I think there's a real efficiency to working together. He would form a circle so you couldn't pitch out. It's funny. Okay, JD, for areas that may have building moratoriums, are you screening these properties out when doing due diligence or when talking to the county? Good question. I'm not doing any screening on the front end. I've been screwed on moratorium deals in the past, in the very beginning, but it is something that we are, once we have that lead inbound, we're going to go research it. Yeah. Anything I missed there? No. Okay. Lightning Capital, laws suck. My state passed standard magazine laws. I try not to get wrapped in it. There's always changes happening. Like Kyle said, like I said, like constraints do breed innovation. And I've already seen some really interesting deal setups come out of just the South Carolina laws, just ways people are tackling, still getting those deals done with some creative thinking. And when there's a new kind of path that gets forged like that, and you're an early adopter, especially in a business like this, you're shooting fish in a barrel because who you're not competing against anyone else. And so there's a lot of magic that can happen. DBL, got to go to dinner with family, but very exciting. Grateful for what you guys are building. Thank you, Land Insights team. Thank you, man. Appreciate you being here. Any more questions, guys? Anything else y'all want to go over? Put them in the chat. If there's anything else we can help with. If not, we can end it here. Any parting words, guys? Anything you guys want to end on? Nothing? Nada?
I'm happy.
Let's see. Does the new Georgia law affect texting? I haven't read the ins and outs of it. To my knowledge, it's just for soliciting through direct mail, and it has to go on the envelope of the piece of direct mail, to my knowledge. All right, guys. Well, last thing I'll touch on again, we've already had a few people snag their tickets since we've been on this call for the mastermind, landinvestor.co/mastermind. Come join us October 11th, 12th, 13th in Las Vegas. And then we've got 21, well, I think 19 actually seats available for Land Insights after this call for the folks that have joined up. So landinsights.co/apply. Come hop on a demo call. We'll kind of cruise you through the full platform and show you what we're working on. So I appreciate you guys. Hopefully this was fun. If you guys like this, we'll set this as a recurring meeting. How do we know if you like this? We'll give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up. If we get 20 thumbs up, cool. All right, we'll do this on a recurring basis. Let's hit that number. And you guys cool with that? Can we commit to doing this monthly? Yeah? All right. If we get 20 thumbs up on this video, so in YouTube, you guys give it a thumbs up. We'll do this monthly for y'all. Sam, this will be recorded. So this is always recorded on our YouTube. So if you guys want to go back, you can see it. Go to our YouTube channel, click the live button. You'll see all the previous lives that have been recorded there. So, all right, y'all. Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
All right. Later, guys.
Again, be safe out there. Bye, guys.